Hi everyone, so today we're going to talk about some different species interactions, so how they interact with each other. So interactions between species are categorized at a level where one population is interacting with another population. So in this case, we're talking more about species to species rather than within a single species. And there are 5 major types of species interactions that we're going to be talking about. So the first one is competition. So competition with other species for food, shelter, anything like that. Then there is predation. So we know that as the prey population increases, we're also going to see the predator population increase. So in this case, we're going to talk about the interaction with that and how those work together. Then we have different symbiotic relationships, and the first one is parasitism. So that's where one organism is benefiting from the relationship and the other one is being harmed. Then we have mutualism, where both organisms are benefiting from the relationship. And then commensalism, where one organism is benefiting and then one organism really doesn't have any effect. So again, I do want to encourage you to watch these videos. They give great examples of all of the 5 different types of interactions. So please take a look at those. But for now, we have this really nifty chart. And what I would like you to do is copy down this chart right here. We're going to go through each one again. So for competition, that's our interaction type. We're going to talk about species A versus species B, and then a description of what's happening there. So again, please write down this chart in your notes. So to start, competition. In competition, both species A and species B are going to be harmed in this situation. So each species negatively affects the other. So if we take a look at this relationship in our picture below, the competition between the fox and the coyote, they are both predators of the same prey. So they live within the same niche. And because of that, they are going to be competing against each other for the same animal to eat. So say it's this little mouse here. So since they're both trying to eat the mice, they're both going to be harmed because if the population of mice decreases, they aren't going to have enough prey to survive. So our next interaction here is we're going to push 2 together, predation and parasitism, because in this case, both times we see species A is going to benefit and species B is going to be harmed. So for an example here, predation, we know that predators eat prey, so it's beneficial for the predator, not beneficial for the prey because they're being eaten. Same thing is happening with parasitism. So the parasite is going to benefit because it's somehow attached to that host, either inside their body or on the outside of their body, and they're taking something away from the host. So usually they're feeding on the host in some way. The difference between predation and parasitism, though, is that predation, it happens right away. Predator eats prey, super easy, where parasitism might take a longer period of time for that parasite to affect and feed on that second species. Second one here is mutualism. So again, in this case, both are benefiting. So each species is helping one another. So a good example here, we take a look at our moth. It is going to pollinate this flower and lay its eggs on the flower. So the moth larvae gets a place to live and the moth gets to supply its eggs there, while it's also pollinating the flower, which is helping the flower. And then last one here is commensalism, where one is benefiting and one is unaffected. So if we take a look here, we can see that the wren makes its nest in the cactus, but the cactus is not going to be affected. It's not getting broken, it's not getting eaten, it's just really being used. So the wren here is going to be benefiting because it has a place to put its nest, but the cactus really doesn't get anything from it, but it's also not being harmed in this situation. So again, make sure we write down this chart for species interactions. If you have any questions, please let me know.